What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Pokemon Black and White 2. In the last episode, we defeated Iris, the champion of the Unova region, and became champion ourselves. These are the 6 Pokemon that I took in tow with me: Jack, Kamina, Furina, Johanna, Tomoe, and En's Zoroark. However, Challenger was obviously also instrumental in this entire journey, and unfortunately, he had to wait this one out in the PC, but don't you worry, we're going to get him back today and get right back to it, because we are now in the post-game. That's right, it is time to experience the rest of what Unova has to offer, as there is so much stuff to uncover. In fact, why don't we take a look at the town map and see exactly how much left there is. Of course, because our route through the Unova region was entirely different this time, we have everything pretty much to the east of Castelia City that we still have left to cover, from Nakreen City to Straiten City to Accumula Town, Nuvema Town, and all of the routes around and in between. We also have the space between Nimbasa City and Undella Town, which we've looked at briefly. You know, we got Route 16 over here that we've gone over. Route 14 we kind of went over outside of the Abundant Shrine, but then there's also White Forest, as well as Route 15 and the Transfer Lab. Then we also, of course, have Iciris City, which we had to skip right over because Twist Mountain was completely blocked off for the entirety of our playthrough, and we have to go over that as well. So there is a lot to cover in this game because, well, the Unova region is much bigger now than it was in the first game. But before we do that, I want to establish a few ground rules, or I guess let's talk about a couple of changes I'm going to be making for the foreseeable future. Much like I did in my Pokemon Black and White 1 playthrough, now that we've hit the end game, I am no longer going to be doing those Pokemon bios, those cutaways that I've been doing the entire time. I made those in the interest of aiding with team building specifically. It's for catching the Pokemon that you can find throughout your journey that you will want to add to your team to then help you beat the Pokemon League and the champion. We have now beaten the champion, so there's no further need for that. But on top of that, the entire Pokedex is about to open way up, and suddenly the number is going to jump from, a little under 300 to 600 plus. And with that many Pokemon suddenly becoming available, I think I would be absolutely overworking myself going over bios of Pokemon that frankly are better covered in other games where they're a bit more relevant. So we're just going to stop with those. I am going to still mention newly acquirable Pokemon as we head into new routes and whatnot, but that's going to be it. I'm just going to mention it. I'm not going to go into detail on them. The other thing is I am still not going to be covering any of the Wi-Fi service stuff here at all. I feel like that's all irrelevant. But then, of course, there is, there's the Dream Yard. Not going to go, or not Dream Yard. I always confuse the two. Sorry. The Dream Radar. I'm still not going to cover that. But then we also have the Entralink and Join Avenue. I'm probably still going to just leave those alone as much as possible for the rest. Because all the social features, I'm just not crazy interested in covering in this playthrough, and that is going to continue here in the post game. But everything else is pretty much fair game. So let's not waste any more time. I've been talking for about 3 minutes now. Why don't we just head on into the living room and say hello to Mom? Welcome home, May. I barely recognize you. Seems like you've seen and thought about a lot and grown into an adult. Oh, seems we have a visitor. Oh, so you're May. My name's Juniper. The one who gave you your Pokedex is my daughter. It's been a long time, Professor Juniper. Has it been that long? I can't remember. Oh, we're getting some backstory now, huh? Are you the professor that helped my mom go on her journey? I don't know, whatever. That's not really why I came. May, to commemorate your entering the Hall of Fame, I'm going to upgrade your Pokedex. And it has been upgraded, but upgraded to do what exactly? Well, actually, it's really simple. I made it so you can register all of the National Pokedex Pokemon. Wow, that's amazing. This must be why you and your daughter are Pokemon professors. Ha ha ha, flattery won't get you anywhere. Well then, think I'd best be taking my leave. Now, I want to say that they didn't actually establish Cedric as a professor in the first game at all. It wasn't really till this game that they actually made that concrete, but I could be wrong about that. Listen up, there are still many, many Pokemon in this world. Sometimes Pokemon attack each other for food. Sometimes they help one another. They protect each other's places. I'd be happy if you think about things like that while looking at the Pokedex. Okay, interesting. He left. That's right, May. I have a present for you, too. And we're going to get some max revives, which is very vague because it doesn't tell us how many. It's 2. But still, more than 1 max revive is nice. No matter what you do, your time is yours and your Pokemon's alone. So decide what you want to do for yourself and do it. I enjoy my own time in my own way, too. In our own way. You mean I can just stop what I'm doing and play some Wii? Does this thing have the last strand? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to head outside and get on with our adventure. This is not the time to be playing very niche JRPGs that everybody really wanted to come to the West, and then they weren't all that great to begin with. Hey, my sis has something that she wants to tell you. May? My purloin. It evolved, but thank you very much for finding it. There's more, right? May? These days I've been having dreams about a Pokemon called Zoroark. It was calling your name, May. I don't really get it, but I hear that the Zoroark from her dreams is on Victory. Where did you hear that, Hugh? Like on the news? From casual conversation? It's a dream. I don't know where this information came to. Whatever, Pokemon video game logic, whatever. Let's just continue. That's what she wanted to say. Be seeing ya. And it's such a strange way to end her conversation, too. Although he does make up for it here. Oh, almost forgot. Congrats on becoming the champion. I called it. You've got good instincts. Well, I appreciate the thought, Hugh. Thank you very, very much. But all right, we have been unleashed. We now may go pretty much where we want to. Although there is definitely a path that you're going to want to take to make things a little bit easier for you. Now, the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to reteach Surf to Tomoe. Having Scald and Hydro Cannon was a very nice combo for that last battle, but I'm going to actually get rid of Scald for now. I could also just get rid of Hydro Cannon and then reteach it later, but I'll just get rid of Scald for the time being. I am eventually going to be remedying that issue a little bit more here in the future. I'm actually going to get a couple dedicated HM users to get around the region better, but we could have gotten this actually as soon as I got Surf. I just didn't backtrack here to get this, but we got TM53 Energy Ball. The reason I didn't bother coming back to get it is because, well, no one on my team can actually learn this move, so I didn't feel like it was super necessary, and I was going to get to it. Gosh dang it. Couldn't even make it a few paces? I was going to say steps, but you wouldn't be stepping in the water. Anyway, yeah, Energy Ball is a good move. Base power of 80, has a chance of lowering special defense. It's basically the grass equivalent to like Psychic, although I think it does a little bit less damage, but really, really good move. It's just, yeah, none of my team can learn it. I would have definitely taken it if Volcarona was capable, because I get the feeling that Volcarona should be, but nope. Instead, it's Giga Drain. Now, speaking of our team, let's head on to the Pokemon Center, and I'm going to want to get Challenger out very first thing. And we are actually going to replace Zoroark with him, excuse me, I should say. And as soon as we do that, you're going to get a little jingle that says, congratulations, wallpapers were added to commemorate your victory against the champion. These are just for changing the backgrounds on things. So like if we go into here, you can see we've got some miscellaneous ones right here. We can go back. We got scenery that you also have as well. Special ones for, you know, different various things like Team Plasma, the PokeStar Studios, the World Tournament, Monochrome, things of that nature. They're all really nice. But I'm going to go back to the forest for now. They're just like cute little add-ons you can have to differentiate your Pokemon boxes, which is good because right now you'll notice we only have 8 Pokeboxes. As we fill up the boxes, and by fill up, you really only need to have like 1 Pokemon in each box, but as you fill up the boxes, it's actually going to unlock more boxes for you. I believe up to 32 total boxes. I think it's 32. So you're going to want to have wallpapers to differentiate each of them so that you're not like kind of getting lost as you go through here. So those actually do have a nice function to them. But all right, we got Challenger with us who is level 55, which I got to be honest isn't like the most ideal thing in the world, but I think we'll be able to manage this. Now, I haven't been using the Lucky Egg on anybody up to this point because I didn't use it while going through the Elite Four, but I am actually going to give that to him so he can catch up with the team here really quickly. So let's do that because we're actually going to be putting him to use in this very episode. Now, there's not really anything else for us to do here in Espertia, but we are going to be heading to Flaucesi. However, I do want to show one thing really quickly, and I think it'll appear as I head through the gate on the north end of town. Let's see. Yep, it is. Okay, so there is an outbreak that has appeared, and I actually can't. Let me see if I can like read that again. Yeah, okay. Route 19, yeah, saying all of the adjacent areas what the weather is like, but this will say the array of beautiful amount. Okay, yeah, we're getting a little bit of an ad here, but this is not what I'm looking for. I want to actually see what the outbreak is. Okay, there we go. A Pokemon outbreak at Route 20 has appeared. So actually, let's talk about that for a second. So mass outbreaks are going to basically be just hordes of Pokemon that can appear in a given area once per day. These are going to change every single day, and you're just going to go to that area and find a very special Pokemon there. You just need to be checking this as often as possible. Now, most of these are found in both games, but there are a few that are exclusive, and I'm just going to go over every single one as I'm going to go pretty much by location here. So Route 20 in White 2 is going to be Mr. Mime. If it was Black 2, it would be Sudowoodo. For Route 22, we have Ledian for White 2 and Ariados for Black 2. And then I'm going to go now sequentially from the earlier routes. So Route 1 is Farfetch'd. Route 3 is Illumise in White 2 and Volbeat in Black 2. Route 5 is Natu. Route 6 is Minun in White 2 and Plusle in Black 2. Route 7 is Furret. Route 8 is Quagsire. Route 9 is Swalot. Route 11 is Masquerain. Route 12 is Doduo. Route 13 is Swellow. Route 15 is Fearow. Route 16 is Pineco. Route 18 is Hoppip. The Abundant Shrine is Slowpoke. The Desert Resort is Hippowdon. The Dream Yard is Hypno. And Reversal Mountain is Cacturn. That is a lot of Pokemon to go over, and I'm not going to give you the in-depth rundown on each and every single one of those Pokemon, but that's a whole lot of Pokemon that you can add to your, and will want to add to your national dex now that you have access to it. So lots of Pokemon to be found, and what makes it interesting is that well, a lot of these Pokemon are much higher level in this game than they were in Black and White 1. The way that mass outbreaks worked in that game is they could be anywhere as low as level 15, and they were all unevolved. But you notice that a lot of the ones I said on the list here are fully evolved, so that does make them a little bit more interesting and worthwhile to go after. But as we head here into Route 19, I don't think there is anything that we can go after while we're out here, but we're going to be doing kind of a little bit of a backtrack across the region as we go, because, there's a lot of things that I kind of left untouched and never really went back to get in this playthrough. Generally, when I get myself an HM like Waterfall or Strength or Surf, I make a habit of going back over certain areas and kind of combing them over to grab any items that we missed, but I didn't do that in this playthrough because I knew full well that we were going to be coming back here. So I wanted to wanted to save that for, just a little bit of a little bit of reminiscence of the entire area. Now, we're not going to be going to every single place like this because there are going to be reasons to skip over certain things, but I did want to just sort of clarify that as we head to Flosessi Town. So, we got Challenger at the front of the party, and we're going to want to head up here first thing. Now, remember Alder's house. Oh, and also, I love that I missed an item over here. That's so funny. From that early in the game, and I didn't get an X speed. I'm going to actually head on inside, and I'm going to talk to the guy. Oh, you've come. Could I spar with you, the strongest trainer in the Unova region? You know what, Alder? I would love that. My heart jumps for joy. Well, then prepare yourself for battle. Kiai! And that's right. We are going to immediately jump into a battle against the former champion of the Unova region before the protagonist of the first game took him down. That's right. It's Alder. And Alder is packing 6 Pokemon here, 3 of which are bug types, a fighting type, and 2 normal types, although one of them is also flying. The first Pokemon is Excelgor with Focus Blast, Acid Spray, Giga Drain, and Bug Buzz. Really, really fast, but it hits really, really hard. It's going to immediately start with that Focus Blast, which is probably going to hurt Challenger a lot, but I'm hoping he can tank through it no problem. Given that it is non-stab, that was a critical hit, so ow. Gosh dang, we're immediately starting with that. Luckily, he avoided it. Let's hit that Excelgor and see if we can't knock it out in one shot. And we did! All right, so that's going to be some really good experience. And the very next Pokemon is going to be Conkeldurr, which I am going to switch to Johanna for. Conkeldurr has the ability Guts, and it's got Stone Edge, Superpower, Earthquake, and Poison Jab. I might be shooting myself in the foot here by switching to Johanna because this thing has Stone Edge, but I'm going to see if I can't do a lot of damage with Psychic first. We will see. Probably won't knock it out in one shot, but it's worth a try. Oh, come on. Nope, not enough. And there's Stone Edge. Okay, down goes Johanna. Whew! I'm okay with that, though, because now I can switch back to Challenger, and Challenger could get the bulk of the experience for this. So let's do that. I didn't do the thing that I said I was to myself that I was going to do before we jumped into this fight, and that was replace one of these moves with Rock Slide, but oh well, it's fine. Let's use Fly again. This Conkeldurr ain't going to hit. We should be all right. So let's just knock this thing out. Beautiful. All right, that'll be some more good experience, and then we'll see what the next one is. Ooh, look at that. 6,760. Get used to seeing these big numbers for the rest of this postgame. Bouffalant is next. Okay, with the ability Reckless, it has Wild Charge, Mega Horn, Earthquake, and Head Charge. It only makes sense to switch on over to Jack for this one. Now, its Reckless ability is kind of important because it plays into a lot of those moves. Anything that has recoil damage is going to have its power increased by 20%, so that would be Head Charge or Wild Charge in particular. But if I can just close combat this thing, we should be able to bypass it no problem. We'll obviously see if that works out, but no! Oh, man, I should have Aura Sphered first. Okay, this Earthquake is going to hurt a lot. Well, it looks like I'm just out here giving all the experience in the world to Challenger based on the way this is going. And a critical hit? Really? Okay, well, it's a good thing Challenger's got the speed advantage on almost all of these. I'm not really complaining, but what's going to for sure hit? Strength will for sure hit. And, oh, Alder used a full restore. No. Okay, well, we'll have to see how much this strength does, and then maybe I can get away with a superpower here. I don't know if this is going to work, but we should have the speed advantage. Let's try superpower. Come on, I believe in you, Challenger. Knock this thing out. It's going to be a lot of damage. I'm going to definitely do a swap after that. No! This Bouffalant is so beefy. Oh, it's going to knock itself out, too. Right here. I think it is, and no one's going to get the experience on that. Gosh dang it. So freaking close. That just hurts. That actually really hurts. Okay, I'm going to switch on over to Kamina for this. There's not really another... Well, there actually, it could be the next Pokemon, but I doubt it. Let's see. Escavalier! Okay, not the Pokemon I wanted to see. It has the ability Shell Armor. It's got X Scissors, Swords Dance, Reversal, and Iron Head, which, you know, that's all going to hurt a fair bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out some revives here. Johanna is ideal for this Pokemon, but as this Escavalier uses Swords Dance here, we should be fine because, I mean, this thing, no matter what it does, is not going to be super fast. Even though it is probably going to knock Kamina out, I am banking on the fact that it's still going to be so slow that a single Heat Wave can knock this thing out. So there's that. And again, this is like the easiest fight in the post game, and I'm already like having all my Pokemon knocked out here because I am just going at it gung-ho without a huge plan here, really. So let's just use Heat Wave, which it is quad weak to, so that should knock it out no problem. Down it goes. And there are only 2 Pokemon remaining. The next one is going to be Braviary, which I had a feeling that was going to be next. I'm going to switch to Tomoe for this one. Kamina honestly would have been ideal for this one, but I think we should be able to handle this Braviary with just my... with just Tomoe. This thing has Crush Claw, Superpower, Rock Slide, and Aerial Ace, which not too dissimilar from my Braviary if you took away Fly, honestly, and replaced that with Rock Slide. Very, very similar. And obviously Strength, too. So lowered its attack ability a little bit, so that's fine. I think one more of those should be enough to knock this thing out. And then we have the last Pokemon to talk about, which I am probably going to be using Flygon for. Actually, I'm gonna try Braviary first and see if that works out. I don't know if I'm going to have the speed advantage on it, though. No, and it survived. Gosh dang it. All right, let's try it again. Luckily, it's lowered its attack so much already that Crush Claw is not even going to do all that much, despite my defense going down. So let's knock you out. All right, and I'm going to try Braviary first here, because I do know that this thing has very bad physical defenses, and that is Volcarona, his most powerful Pokemon. Obviously, a single rock attack is going to do a lot of damage to this thing, but I'm going to see if a single fly is enough. It's got the ability Flame Body. This one's actually holding a Citrus Berry. It has Quiver Dance, Silver Wind, Heat Wave, and Psychic. So again, very similar to my Volcarona, although it has Quiver Dance, which I do believe Volcarona lives at level 60, in place of... Nope, there it goes. It got the attack off. Gosh dang it, I was really hoping to bypass that. Really hoping I could go faster than the Volcarona. Okay, let's go to Farina. Yeah, so it's got Quiver Dance in place of which? Oh, Giga Drain. That's right. Okay, Rock Slide time. Let's see if we can hit this thing. And we're faster, too. Good job, Farina. So proud of you. I'd be very shocked if this doesn't take it out. It didn't? Wow. I am amazed. I guess that's the non-stab doing that. So it's going to use Quiver Dance here, which is going to make its attacks more powerful. I do always have Tomoe in my back pocket here, especially because it doesn't have any grass-type moves. Let's try another Rock Slide. It's faster now, so this Psychic's going to hurt a lot, but it is non-stab, and Farina managed it. If that rock slide missed, we'd have been in trouble, but luckily it didn't. So down goes Volcarona, and down goes Alder. After that, the Battle of Fresh Wind blew through my heart. There we go. Get ourselves a ton of money out of that, too. That's the champion for you. And after doing that... Oh, hello! Who is this? Gramps, I did it! I did it! I did it! The White Tree Hollow! I made it to the deepest part! Why, if it isn't Benga? Are you serious, boy? Hey, Gramps! You know how strong I am. Hey, hey! Who's that? Her name is May. She's the strongest trainer in the Unova region. I knew it! The trainer smells tough. How about it, Benga? Do you want to spar, perhaps? No! I know that trainer's strong, and I want to battle, but those Pokemon haven't been through enough. Me and my Pokemon, we made it to the deepest part of the White Tree Hollow. You do that too, then we'll see who's stronger. Let's try hard to be the best. Later. Gramps and May. We'll have to talk about that character a little bit later, but that's right, the White Tree Hollow. It's a little bit of a foreshadowing here. He's a lively one, even from my grandson. I'll explain what he was talking about. He challenged a place called the White Tree Hollow, which appeared in White Forest. You'll find out what kind of place it is if you go there. An ordinary trainer, however, can't make it to where he is. So that's the story. If you'd like, you should take the challenge as well. Okay, we will definitely do that, but we will worry about that, I think, a little bit later. And that is, in fact, going to be it for this episode, guys, because we have already, we're well past 15 minutes here, but also we're only scratching the surface. There is so much left to talk about with this game, and we're just getting started. We're going to be going into legendaries that are newly available right off the bat here in the next episode. We're going to be talking about some new Pokemon that we can get in places like Castelia City and whatnot. We're going to also be heading back to some other places like Nimbasa. We're going to be going all over the Unova region once again, back to many of the same places that we've been to before, but with a little bit of a fresh and new perspective. So I hope you're all looking forward to it, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.